Well, hello and welcome back to the channel, everyone. My name is Darkseid Walker, and I have not been very active over the last few days because your boy came down. Yeah, it's been everything in my power just to keep from collapsing and hacking my lungs out. It has not been fun. I apologize for the radio silence, so I figured when we get back into the swing of things by actually sharing with you guys something from my childhood. In this case, what I wanted to show you, and I wish I could go back a screen so I could show you what exactly it is I'm playing, but this is the 8-Bit Adventure Anthology. They call it Volume 1, but I don't know if there even is a Volume 2. But the history behind these games is that these are 3 of what was known as the MacVenture series. They were old point-and-click black and white games that were released obviously for the Mac in the 80s that were ported to the NES with obviously some changes thanks to Nintendo's kind of strict censorship policies, especially about religious iconography and whatnot. But what was somewhat lost in translation was made up for by adding color to the game, adding music to the game, and just really ramping up the atmosphere. And these adventure games came in 3 flavors: the high fantasy Shadowgate, the noir detective story of Deja Vu, and the creepy mansion story of the Uninvited. Now, I'm not gonna lie, up until recently I didn't even know the Uninvited was a thing. But I actually own Shadowgate and Deja Vu for the NES. But of course, I don't necessarily have the equipment to record off of the NES. But I do have the stuff to record off of my computer. And it just so happens that these are the NES versions, so beautiful times indeed. And I wanted to start by showing you guys the game Shadowgate, the first one of these MacVenture games that I actually played. You know what's funny is that the order in which these games were released as part of the MacVenture series was damn near the opposite of how they released on the NES. Shadowgate was the first one that released on the NES, but in the original MacVenture series, it was the third one. Uninvited was the first, and strangely, that was the last one released on the NES. Deja Vu was still the redheaded middle stepchild. Don't take that the wrong way, though. The game is still good. I've never actually beaten Deja Vu, and I've never played the Uninvited. Shadowgate, on the other hand, I played so often that I knew it like the back of my hand. And the funny thing about that game is that it wasn't anything that was purchased for me. My mom, when she was still around, actually purchased this for herself because, hey, who doesn't love a good brain teaser? It just turns out I got into it hard. So what the heck, let's actually start up Shadowgate and I'll show you guys what it's all about. That music. Last thing you remember is standing before the wizard Lakmir as he waved his hands. Now you find yourself staring at an entry which lies at the edge of a forest. Druid's words ring in your ears. Within the castle Shadowgate lies your quest. The dreaded warlock lord will use his black magic to raise the behemoth from the dark depths. The combination of his evil arts and the great Titan's power will surely destroy us all. You are the last of the line of kings, the seed of prophecy that was foretold eons ago. Only you can stop the evil one from darkening our world forever. Fare thee well. Gritting your teeth, you swear by your god's name that you will destroy the warlock lord. Alright, well, one thing that's a definite improvement is that I can use the mouse for movement. Now you've got yourself a number of different options that you can use, a number of different things that you can do. Now imagine what a pain this was to control using just a controller. So I'm happy that we've got ourselves a mouse to use. The door is open. It's the door leading into the castle Shadowgate. Why do I sound a little bit like the wizard Lackley? But that's not the only thing we should do, because if we just immediately leave this screen and move forward, granted we can come back, but we'll be missing something pretty important, so let's open the skull above the doorway. As if by magic, the skull rises. And now we can take the key. E1. Alright, now we're good, so let's... Eyeballs! That pitiful wizard Knockmere was a fool to send a buffoon like you to stop. You will surely regret it, for the only thing here for you is a horrible attack. The sound of maniacal laughter echoes in your ears. Alright, well, a couple of things we can try. Well, that door is locked. That door is locked. Huh. Well, what can we possibly do to change that? E1 opens that door, so you weren't getting very far without that. Now, another thing that you should do is you should make sure you collect torches. Why is it so important to collect torches? Well, because in this game, if your torchlight runs out, you die. Now, one thing that I haven't been showing is that you can just straight up examine the items. Or I guess it's called look now. There is something out of the ordinary about this torch, but you can't put a finger on it. It's a torch. An oil-soaked rag is wrapped around it. So we're gonna grab that. Now you'll notice that torch is somehow different, out of the ordinary from the others. There's a reason for that, but we'll get to it. A small candle, perfect for reading. It's an ancient tome. It seems that no one has disturbed its pages for centuries. Well, why has no one disturbed its pages for centuries? That doesn't make a lot of sense. I want to have a closer look at that book, so why don't we go ahead and take it? Oh, there's your first mistake. When you remove the book from its pedestal, the floor collapses and you fall to your death. It's a sad thing that your adventures have ended here. Yeah, shut up. Now, admittedly, I'm going through the text a little quickly because I've played through this game so many times, but I also want to showcase some of the ways you can die. And now that I'm thinking about it, there is one that I want to try that I've never done, but first, what you're supposed to do is instead of taking the book from the pedestal and, letting the floor collapse from underneath you, is you're supposed to just open the book. The book is opened and examined. A rectangular hole has been cut out of the inside of the book. And we can now take key number 2. Alright, we are making progress. So where do we use that key number 2? Well, this little broom closet was something we couldn't open before. But, if we use key 2 on it... Oh! Banana! As you enter, you can see a sword and a sling inside. You definitely want the sling. To be honest, the sword is completely optional, but I'm going to take it anyway, and I will of course show you where you can use it. This is probably going to be a longer video than usual, by the way, just letting you know. Stone passage winds to an unseen end. Now, one thing you can examine is this back here. It's a stone wall. This stone seems to be set loosely in the mortar. So, there are 2 things you can do with this, very conspicuous bit of stone. You can either click open or hit. You don't have a lot of use for the command hit. Pow! But I like to use it there. Alright. Examine that arrow. Now, that tune in and of itself actually means that... Modern-looking nails. That tune in and of itself means that in a few actions, our torch is going to burn out. Now, because I was reading over the achievement list, and there are certain achievements that you get for certain methods of dying, I do want to see if just letting your torch burn out is one of them. Now, we are going to need that silver arrow. We cannot take these torches, but remember, that's because it said that they were attached firmly to the wall. The ledge wasn't strong enough to hold you. You fall to the ground and land hard on your rump. The stones in these walls were probably cut by the hands of enslaved mountain dwarves. Alright, not a whole lot to examine here, so let's just open doors. Let's just open one door at a time. Look, a subterranean lake with a shark. Our shark swims by as if patrolling this calm pool. Her torch goes out with a fizzle. With outstretched arms, you move slowly looking for a light. Suddenly, you trip over something. Smash! You fall face first to the floor. And there you go. Now, the other thing I wanted to try is apparently there's an achievement for this, but I was not aware of this. You now have terrific second-degree burns on your hands. Finally set your hair on fire. The rest of your body soon follows. Danger to yourself. I love it. Alright, we're back. Yeah, I'm currently making sure I have a cough drop going at all times, because otherwise... Look, a small brass key. I mean, we're gonna want that, but if we can't get it now, sometimes we try speaking to the skeleton. It doesn't seem to understand what you say. What you expected hasn't happened. Now, so long as we're playing around with things, as you swim toward the skeleton, you feel the jaws of a shark grab you and pull you under. You curse yourself for using your own body as bait. Even before the life has left your body, the lake will be filled with your blood. Alright, everyone got that? It's a very simple thing. Don't go swimming with sharks. Alright, so here you can see that if we try to move here, the way is blocked by a landslide, and even with your might, you cannot clear yourself a path. You can try hitting the rocks. How? Ouch! That smarts. Well, what did you expect? No, actually what we want here is a stone. We have a sling. We need something to use the sling with, right? So, there you go. But this blockaded stairwell here is just a red herring. There is something we can move towards, and that would be the cavern behind the waterfall. The walls in this room are much too close for comfort. The damp walls of this eerie cavern are rough and irregular. So I like to use the hit command on the loose stone in the main castle area, but this is the only thing you actually have to hit. The loose rock falls down as if hinged to the wall. It's a leather pouch! So excited about that. Alright, so now that we've done the thing with the torches, let's actually go ahead and use one now. Now, if we open the bag contains 3 large jewels. We're going to need all 3 of these, at least to beat the game the normal way. We're going to take the white gem, red gem, I mean, we're going to take all of them, so there you go. By the way, is this music not just beautifully moody and great? Now, let's open this door. You enter a cold room. The stench of flesh and decay pervades the small chamber. Once again, I sound a bit like the wizard Lack. Begin to shiver. This room is really cold. Well, once again, there are torches to take, and there's really no reason not to. We're going to need a bunch of them. Now, a couple things to examine. It's a large pedestal with iron trim. A small trapdoor made of polished metal. Alright. So obviously we're going to want to go in there, but let's also look at this. It's a small hole in the wall some 3 inches deep. Now, I want to check something for myself. Yes, I know the solution to this, but I want to see. Well, either way, the solution here is to use the white gem here. The gem fits perfectly in the hole. A small crystal sphere magically appears on the stand. We are going to take that. Alright. Everything good so far? Fear grips you as you enter this hot room. We go from a hot room to from a cold room to a hot room. Okay. Alright, so there are actually a number of important items to grab here. But if we do anything other than take the shield first, like let's say that hammer's looking pretty beefy. I want that. Whoosh! Flames suddenly shoot from the dragon's mouth. Dragon flame engulfs your body. You pay for your curiosity with your life. But I already told you the solution there. You take the shield first. You raise your shield just in time to block the dragon flame. Now, there is another death-related achievement that I read about, so let's just start picking up items. So, I'll go over the things that you actually need out of this one. You need the spear. You need the hammer. The torch would be nice to have. The helmet is useless, but I mean, I know in the Mac version you can wear it. This is melted gold. But now if we choose to take anything else, like the only other thing here that's possibly useful is the skull could potentially be an answer to a riddle later on. And there you go. melting point. Alright, now let's try this again with a little bit more intelligence. So from what we've learned, we take that first. Then we take the spear. Take the hammer. You take the torch. Then you run like the Dickens. We have a good number of torches, might as well light another one. Apparently my computer is having a little bit of trouble with this one. I don't know why. Now, if we were to do something like open that trap door, so what can we find down there? A broken fragment of a wooden ladder hangs from the opening. As you go down the trapdoor, you realize you took a big step. The fall is quite fatal. So there you go, that's what happens when you do that. But we do now have the solution for getting that small brass key from the skeleton. Now, just in case you're not 100% sure what the solution is, let's have a look at this sphere again. This crystal sphere is as cold as ice. So, if we use the sphere on the water, you drop the sphere into the lake and notice the ripples disappear as the water turns into ice. We can now safely take that. Now, here's the thing, though. We definitely need that sphere again. It's one of the most important items in the game because, unlike everything else, it has two uses, not just one! So, we're gonna need to grab that sphere back. How do we do that? We need to melt the ice. What do we have that can melt ice? Fire. Put the burning torch close to it. The torch melts away the ice over the sphere, allowing it to float to the surface. Not surprisingly, the lake quickly refreezes. Now, if you use the torch on the sphere, it just puts out your torch, which of course has the possibility of killing you, so not fun. We can try talking to the skeleton again. It goes about as well as you think it would. Alright, the only door we haven't opened is this one. Look at this. And it's time to light up another torch. It must be worth a fortune. Reagan scale cover. Alright, so in order to get work done here, we need to open these coffins. Nothing happened when you open that one. The lid of the coffin is open. Oh, look at that bag! If we examine it, it's a leather pouch! The game is very excited about leather pouches. Now, if we open bag 2, we find 3 copper coins, or cop coins as they're called, otherwise known as cop-out coins. Now, as you would expect from a game from the old MacVenture series, not every item necessarily has a strong purpose. And I'm sure you won't be surprised to hear me say that the cop-out coins have no real purpose. The lid of coffin is open. Nice grammar check there. A mummy stands silently before you. This carefully embalmed 6-footer stands straight and still. Alright, so what is a mummy doing there? It's clearly not an animate mummy, it's just, you know, a mummified corpse. So, let's do what you do with any old bandages. Leave them alone and let the archaeologists examine them? No, you fool, we're gonna light it on fire. The mummy bursts into flames, leaving behind a scepter among the ashes. You definitely want that scepter, that is a key item. Alright, that just leaves 2 coffins left to open. And if we open this one... As you open the tomb, a banshee flies out and emits an ear-shattering scream. You're alright, but it is very hard to hear. That doesn't kill you, it doesn't even have any real adverse effect on the game. It's like the banshee just flat out said, "Hey, leave me the fuck alone!" Alright, let's real quick make a save here. Now obviously if I'm doing that, that means there's something bad in this last coffin, right? Well, if we open this... The lid of coffin is open. This green slime is quite disgusting. Green slime is thick and warm to the touch. So now at this point, if we try to move past it, you try to pass the slime, but it engulfs your body, dissolving it in seconds. You die instantly. No pain, no nothing. We're slime. And there you go. I'm going to be doing my best to show you guys as many of the death scenarios as I can, because I'm also curious how many of them count towards achievements. This room full of mirrors reminds you of the Elven Funhouse at King Otto's Fair. Elves and humans getting along, mass hysteria! Now, we don't need the broom, but just like I said about the skull, you can very much use this to solve a Sphinx riddle. As a matter of fact, with a little bit of forethought, you can use this to solve all the Sphinx riddles. Now, not surprisingly, you jump down the hole and, after a couple of moments, hit the floor. It seems that you have broken both of your legs. It's only a matter of time before you die. Alright, but that did actually lead us to a room. Just not one that we can get to from that way. So what else haven't we explored yet? Let's go back to the coffin chamber. Go back to this room. Back to this room. How about this area where we punched the wall? Yep, you know, the door where we fell out our rump. Well, that's not necessarily what we want to do here. You see, these torches are firmly attached to the wall. So if we use them, nothing happened. But if we use this one, look, a hidden door! Not everything is as it appears in Castle Shadowgate. You stand at the edge of a deep chasm. From the darkness below arise the screams of the undead. The cave is hewn roughly in the chasm's wall. Alright, so that's not actually where we intended to go, but I wanted to show you guys that, because we will be back there later. Yep, time to use another torch. Yeah, well, we're not doing that because we know what happens when we do. I'm just making sure I'm not missing anything. And I don't think I am, I'm just double checking. Alright, so yeah, we have to go back to the bridge room. Sorry, it's been years since I've played this game. Forgive me for not being perfect. There are two bridges that span the chasm. See, we've got one nice sturdy bridge and one rickety rope bridge. You know, with snakes for goalposts. Seems perfectly inviting. What could possibly happen here? As you reach the middle of the bridge, it collapses under your feet. The bridge won't hold you. You can't cross unless you lose some weight. Now, they're not exactly expecting you to take on a diet and workout regimen right before you cross the bridge. That puzzle actually has multiple solutions, but we're not necessarily looking for those solutions right now. Right now, the best thing to do is say hello to the Wraith. What's this? A Wraith is standing in your way, barring your path. Oh, did I say take? I don't want to take the Wraith. It's a Shadow Wraith, a hideous specter who eternally walks the line between life and death. So you can take the torches because they're essentially right next to you. What we actually need out of this room is that cloak. But we can't do anything until we can get past this Wraith. So what do we do about that? Well, first things first, let's use another torch just to make sure we're in the clear. But if you recall what I said earlier, and some of you have probably figured this out already, but if we examine this torch, it says you can't quite put your finger on what's odd about this torch. So now let's try using one of our torches on something other than ourselves. The torch burns with a strange white flame. With a shout, you throw the flaming torch at it being the Wraith. The blinding flash, the white flame engulfs the undead apparition. When you open your eyes again, the Wraith is gone. That's good, because we want this. You seem to be wasting your time. Too high for you to reach. Oh my. This look familiar? Never hurts to have another torch. It's an ancient leather-bound parchment. A small silver bottle. What is it? Sure smells terrible. The small silver vial glows with a lustrous shine. You notice that the bottle is impossibly light. Alright, so we're definitely taking bottle 2. We're definitely taking scroll 1. And even though we don't have a use for it, might as well take bottle 1. Alright. We can examine the hemp rope. There you go. Damp air is blowing out of the gap in the stone wall. Yeah, it wasn't exactly the most inconspicuous thing in the world. Sign reads Epor. I'm gonna give you guys just a moment to figure out what exactly that says. Alright, so now let's examine it a second time. Epor, Epor, Epor. You got it! It seems to be some sort of magic word. So now, if we go to our spells, and speak the incantation of Epor, there are many strange things in this world! When you set the magic spell, the rope moved! Having stretched up to the hole, the rope stops moving. So now we can get back up to the Hall of Mirrors with no real issue. That having been said, let's come over here and move this. Look! A door! How special. Cold water from the limestone drips on your neck, sending shivers down your spine. Oh look, another gem-shaped hole. This is a concave polygon. It seems to have been carefully carved into the stone. It's a stone wall. Examine the ground. You seem to be wasting your time. That I am. Now, is it the red or the blue gem that you use here? And you don't necessarily need to pick one or the other. The game won't let you use the wrong one. The gem seems to fit, but nothing happens. See? As soon as you place the blue gem in the hole, you hear the sound of grinding stone. Wall slowly rises to reveal a magical image of an old wizard.
Listen, warrior. The Warlock Lord can only be defeated by the courage and the Staff of Ages. Remember, 5 to find. 3 for the staff, 1 to be the key, and 1 to be thy castle. Carve thy wits about thee, warrior. Fare thee well.
The wall slides back into place, hiding the image from your sight. A scroll appears, imagine that. Scroll 2. Now that we have 2 of these scrolls, let's open them and see what their deal is. Your hands begin to sweat because of your extreme excitement. One of those people that loves reading a good novel, I guess. 5 to find, 3 are 1. 1 gives access to the Bladed Sun. The silver orb to banish below, the Staff of Ages to vanquish the foe. Joining to the Golden Blade, the last to invoke, the Platinum Horn. Okay, that all will mean something, I guarantee, but as for right now, let's just move on and look at scroll number 2. As the shadow of the wind, thou shalt be. Humana. You've learned 1 magic spell. As the spell was chanted, the scroll 2 quickly vanished. And there it goes. Bye, scroll 2! I'm inside a small room. Sturdy bars seal this cage. Your nose detects the presence of a concealed animal. Can't really do anything with that, but I mean, man, the world building here is amazing. Alright, we're back to the room of mirrors. So what exactly do we do in this room? Well, if you guessed we had to break the mirrors, well, good job, figured it out. But how does one break the mirrors? Do you just, use your fist? Nothing happened. Apparently the mirrors are a little bit sturdier than that. So before we do anything, let's do a quick in and out. Oops, I went too many rooms out. And we're gonna do a save. If you guess that means that we're gonna find a way to die, you're correct. So what you need to do is use the hammer on the mirrors to break them. Why you need a hammer to break mirrors? Don't question it, Dick. Bellowing like some Norse god, you smash the hammer into the mirror. You know, that thing that's just a pane of reflective glass that you could probably break by kicking it. Now, what happens if we break the other 2 mirrors? Well, as soon as you break the mirror, shards of glass fly through the air and slice into your body. Blood pours from your wounds and your body slumps to the floor. Aw, poor guy. Alright, so now what happens if we use the hammer on the right-hand mirror? You have opened a magic portal into deep space. You are immediately sucked through. The lack of air causes you to quickly lose consciousness. the Grim Reaper quickly embraced. So you have 2 red herring mirrors. Oh, and there's an achievement for that. Awesome. Alright, so now let's do this the right way. Use, hammer, kablam. You know, open this door. Oh, but it's locked. Boy, I wonder what we could possibly use to open that. This room is incredibly hot. This must be what the lower levels of Gehenna are like. The heat is unbearable and you have to turn back. So now, that is why we picked up the cloak, because the cloak can actually protect us from the heat in that room. But, for the sake of speed running, let me show you something. And by now I've been hinting at this long enough, you should already know what's coming. For those of you that don't, here's what's about to happen. We are going to kill ourselves. And because the game's programming has you go back to the last room you were in, it actually brings you into this room with no penalty. So, yeah. You can actually get through here without the cloak. It's completely optional. But it's optional by mistake. But so long as we're here, let's experiment with something. Maybe these flames are an illusion. Bellowing like a fool, you leap off the bridge and into the blaze! You are instantly fried. Well, what did you expect? Now, let's do this the right way. Let's find that cloak. Here it is. Oh. No, you're supposed to use cloak on self. You try on the cloak and find it very unbecoming. It barely fits over your armor. It's so hot you begin to sweat profusely, but notice this time it didn't kick you out. So now we can actually do things. But without there being much to do, maybe we just move forward. The door is open. Suddenly you feel a gust of wind. A searing blast of heat knocks you across the room. A flaming horror appears at the end of the bridge. Alright, well, what do we do to take care of this? Well, we only have one object in our inventory that has anything to do with cooling things off, so let's use it. Use sphere. Where is the sphere? There it is. We're going to use it on the flames. You hurl the sphere into the fire below you. The hellspawn flames quickly vanish as soon as the sphere touches them. With nothing to feed itself on, the fire drake immediately follows suit. And that's how you deal with the fire drake. And we'll light up another torch. A sharp, cold wind whips up over the ledge of the deep, dark chasm. Hello, Mr. Troll. As you step on the bridge, a troll appears and says, "This bridge is mine. It'll cost you a gold coin to cross." Alright, well, we don't have gold coins. That's a little rich for our blood, but we've got these cop-out coins. Maybe you like a cop-out coin? Are you okay with cop-out coins? Why am I trying to take something I already have? The troll says the toll has just been raised to 2 gold coins. Blackbeard is almost permanently becoming the narrator for this adventure. The troll shouts, "Hey, what's this? It isn't gold! Are you trying to cheat me?" The troll then picks up the bridge, causing you to fall into the chasm. The Grim Reaper stands below waiting to catch you. Trolled. Alright, well, we've at least seen that now. Alright, so what do we actually do to deal with you? Well, if he's not gonna accept our... If he's not gonna accept our cop-out coins, maybe he'd like something else. How about we show him our nice shiny spear? Perhaps he's a weapon enthusiast and will let us go just on the bounds of, hey, that's really neat. Oh, we accidentally threw it at him. Oh darn. The troll falls silently into the dark cavern. You listen, but you do not hear him crash. I mean, it's a troll when you use that. The moon casts a brilliant shadow over the grounds of the courtyard. The Cyclops stands before you, ready for battle. Well, you know what? We're ready for battle too. We've got a shield, we've got a hammer, we've got a sword. There's no way we're gonna let this buffoon take us out. You know, like the guy in the very beginning said we were. I'm gonna take this sword, I'm gonna shove it where the sun don't shine. Battle cry dies in your throat as the Cyclops crushes your skull with his club. Yeah, I mean, not necessarily the smartest thing in the world. Alright, so what's a guy to do to take out a Cyclops? Well, how about we hit him from a distance? We've got a stone that we can use in the sling, and now we've got a sling that we can use on a Cyclops. As soon as you start twirling the sling, a magical influence takes over your body. You cry out, "Death to the Philistine!" and release the stone. Bullseye! And now we've got a collapsed Cyclops. I wish you could pick up his club, but you can't. You can almost see the stars revolving around the Cyclops' head. He is down, but not out. And this is the one use for the sword. You take the sword and you finish the job. You drive the sword deep into the Cyclops. Blood pours out of the wound and onto the grass. So, in order to beat this game the right way, you need to pass through this room a couple of times. So, you either need to take 2 stones, so you can do that twice, or you take the sword and the sling and you use the sword and just go for a dishonorable finish. Dishonorable or not, it's what you gotta do. So now what happens if we use this? Frank turned rather easily. At the end of the rope there's a small bucket. Now we can't take the bucket. Oh, time to use a torch. Boop! Boop! Now what happens if we open the bucket? Gauntlet! Oh, who knows what that could be used for, but there's no reason not to take it. Alright, now we go inside. The door is open. A long, drafty hallway with 1 flight of stairs and several open passages. Well, you see a torch on the wall, you know what we do with that. Alright, we've got 3 directions to go. Technically 4, but you and I both know that one of them is just the way we came. You stand in a small library. So now here's the reason why you shouldn't even touch the skulls in the dragon chamber, because there's one right here in case you need it to solve a riddle. This is a fine map of the lands of... Oh, this fine map of the lands of Tarkus is quite detailed, although incomplete. It's full of books. You don't have time to read every one of them. Think of your quest! The Prophecy. Alright, well, we might have... Might as well open the book and see what it's all about. You can't read the strange writing in the book. Well, that's a pain. Alright, well, the only other thing to do here is we open the desk. There's a good few things in here. The glasses, E5, scroll 3, and scroll 4. Ugh. Sorry, I'm trying to keep from coughing. I know I sounded fine earlier, but I am now out of both Sierra Mist and Cough Drop. So, on that note, please excuse me for a moment while I go get another Cough Drop, because I'm very intent on beating this game in one sitting. I'll be right back. Alright, I hope that this is enough to carry me through the rest of the video. Alright, open scroll 3. Lands under the heavens, the key to the world, Terra Terrak. Another spell! Now let's open scroll number 4. Read the scroll. Move the sun from near to far, light is what the darkness fears. Instantum Illumina. Right, and then of course key 5, and then the friggin' glasses. So, no surprise, you use the glasses on yourself. You can see very well. Now let's look at this book. You can understand and read what you could not before. The light grows faint, the path winds round, where life is lost, wisdom is found. The seed of the dream for the evil is free, where the sword is hung, he must place the key. A bridge to from admits burning death, a demon to guard. Well, darn it is. The book quickly vanishes. All the books, they just go poof. And we might as well quick grab the map. We don't particularly need it, but, you know, in case it's the answer to a riddle. And then, of course, the elephant in the room here. We only have one gem left, so we might as well use it. Hidden passage a go-go. Room is dominated by a large fireplace set in a red brick wall. So we've got all sorts of nice items here. Black iron poker, we've got wooden bellows. We've got, obviously, a fireplace. And honestly, if you want to, you can just light the fireplace. Unfortunately, that doesn't keep you from dying if your torch runs out, but, you know, score a point for the original Mac game. In the Mac game, if you had an ultimate light source like that, you could go without your torch in that room. But just for that room. Alright, so what else do we have? It is a globe mounted on a stand for display. It shows all the known lands. You see a seam along the equator, almost as if it's a crack in the world. What happens if we use that Terrak spell here? A large crack appears around the equator of the globe. Inside we find key 6 and bottle 5. There we go. Now, I'm pretty sure that the bellows and the poker can be used as riddle solutions, but remember, we're probably not going to need that. It smells like a kennel in here, and there are no windows through which to circulate fresh air. Always the worst. Ugh, there's a strange poisonous-looking liquid in the pot. Really stinks! Now, you can drink that liquid. Slurp! You taste the poisonous-looking liquid in the pot. You notice small blue hairs begin to grow on the palms of your hands. The viscous liquid seems to contain body-altering ingredients. So, it's not great, but it's not bad either. We have here, slimy jar, then that's another bottle 2, another bottle 2, test tube, which could be a riddle answer, and a silver vial. Horseshoe could also be a riddle answer, but remember, that's iffy. This steel mesh cage rattles constantly. A simple latch secures it. Oh, I mean, we could be nice and open it. You remove the latch and a mutated dog pounces on you. It looks like the doctor put something strange in the dog's water. Before you can do anything else, the mutation quickly rips you apart. So yeah, don't let that animal out. Alright, so the things that are worth taking, we're going to want to take bottle 2. This means we'll have multiple bottle 2s, but it's always good to have just in case. We'll grab bottle 4, grab bottle 3. Even though we don't need it, I'll grab the test tube too. I'll leave the horseshoe there, though. Now, surely you can all see the other thing in the room that needs to be messed with. Well, yeah, what about that door in the corner? Almost, but no. It won't open. Alright, well, what if we use it? The stone slowly rises out of the floor. A shining vial is inside it. We're obviously going to want that. The water is in hand. Now let's examine that just to make sure it's just normal water. The glass vial is filled with a clear liquid. The sign of the cross is on it. Ah, so it's holy water. Remember, holy water isn't just some regular-ass Dasani. You stand in a small garden. The only sound is of falling water in the night. So, we've got a fountain, we've got a flute, and a tree. Very simple garden area. It's a small wooden flute. It looks like it could make beautiful music. This exquisite marble fountain is shaped into the image of a sea serpent. From its mouth spews an acidic liquid. So how in the world is the flute sitting on top of that? It's probably magical. That, of course, means if you try to take the flute, and pain explodes through your hand. Water is extremely acidic and obviously not good for drinking. So what happens if you do drink it because, you know, you're a dumbass? You drink a handful of the water. You can't even scream because you no longer have a throat, let alone a larynx. So there you go, don't drink that water. Probably not even water. Alright, so we need some sort of protection so that we can grab that. This should be the obvious point where you go, hey, you got that gauntlet, if you put the gauntlet on your hand and then use your hand on the flute. And yeah, that's what you should do. Feels like it was made just for me. Oh wow, it's almost like this whole thing was a prophecy. using the silver gauntlet, you remove the flute easily. The sound of the water splashing is music to your ears. Alright, so here's the thing. This flute is a key item, but it does nothing in almost every room in the game. So, what do we do with it? How about we just use it right away? It seems like you wake from a dream only to find a hole in the tree. Is it real? The flute's music is like magic. And we have a ring. Perfect. Nope, we have what we need from this area. Away! Hold on. Hurt me. Doing my best to suppress all these sickness things that are going on with the defense. Easier said than done. Onwards! Alright. Let's look around. There's all sorts of things here that you can grab. Family crest of Sir Dugan himself, whoever that is. Beautiful mirror. Silk tapestry. Alright, well. The door is locked. Well, let's see if we can't find a way to change that. Wrong key. Well, so let's now go over a little something. You've now seen that it's possible to use, well, you've probably been seeing it throughout the run, that it's possible to use the torches on environmental objects. So what happens if we use the torch on this rug? Ooh, it's a key! We're taking that key! Except when the game says I can't take it! What was I, like a pixel off? Come on, game. And there you go, that's where it works. Alright, we're actually here too early, so let's back up. Let's open this door. Oh, door's locked. What about this door? Door's locked. All the doors are locked. Oh, we have key 6. What happens if we use key 6 on one of these doors? There we go. And I would assume, with an embarrassing voice crack I might add, that key 5 probably works here. Alright, we've got options now. Let's start here. It appears to be a sphinx. It looks at you indifferently. Alright, so I'm gonna let you know right now, these hieroglyphics on the stairs in the Sphinx room are important. You want to memorize those patterns. Or basically, it goes like this. Right, center, right. Remember that. Now, I've been hinting the whole game about there being something that you need to solve a riddle with. Hopefully it's now very obvious. Now, when you try to move up those stairs, the Sphinx is going to ask you a riddle. And that riddle could have one of any number of different answers. Now, it doesn't kill you if you get the riddle wrong, but it does mean that there are a number of things that you should probably have in your inventory by this time if you want to get past. Or, alternatively, for whatever reason, the broom is hard-coded as the thing that it wants until it gives you an answer. Or a riddle. So if you just give it the broom without it saying anything, you have correctly answered my riddle, warrior. Thou may now pass. But you never gave me a riddle! We are now in the observatory. Alright, so let's examine things. It's an ornate carving of a shooting star. The object is made of silver and is extremely heavy. Scroll. As you peer through the telescope, you are amazed by the clarity of the night sky. Alright, let's grab the scroll. Scroll number 5. Let's open it. Observing the stars. The Throne constellation appears once every 5 summers. Legend says that it is a portal to another land. Alright, well, we can now take this star. But that's not all we can do here, because the map, you can see billions and billions of stars. The map seems to only be loosely attached to the wall. So what if we open the star map? Hey, we've got a rod! Oh, Roddy Rod. Don't worry, we'll need that. If we examine it... Rod made of cast iron. Alright, well, we can go up. You are so captivated by the woman's beauty that you momentarily forget her predicament. Yes, in the moonlight, she is even more beautiful. This fine lass lies upon the floor, chained to the wall. She is extremely beautiful in all of her 8-bit glory. Some sort of spike that is made of precious metals. Ouch! The tips are as sharp as needles. Why are you trying to stab yourself? This seems self-destructive. Through this portal, you can see the moon hovering over the Harken... Oh, is it the Harken or Darken Mountain? I think I meant Darkened Mountains? I don't know. Now, obviously, this is probably going to be the blade that you need for the Staff of Ages, but when you try to pick it up, with a loud roar, the wolf pounces on you, taking your knife. Oh, look! The wolf's powerful jaws will rip your throat out. Yeah, some damsel in distress. Alright, guess what? We now know that she's a werewolf, and that this is a classic honeypot trap. But we also know that we have just the thing to take care of a werewolf. Let's once again examine that arrow that we picked up all the way back in the beginning of the game. A finely crafted silver arrow is not uncommon in the Elven lands. Oh, we don't need a bow or anything, we just take it, and we stab her with it. Your aim is true as you plunge the silver arrow into the beautiful woman. The beautiful lady suddenly transforms into a wolf. This looks like your typical dead werewolf. I mean, yeah, that's typical for you. Must be a hell of a life you lead. But we now have the blade. See you later, Mr. Sphinx. Thanks for taking my broom. Although the evening air is cool, this small circular room radiates a fervent heat. This horn is forged of flawless platinum. Its beauty is unbelievable. Alright, well, that's obviously the platinum horn. But we attempt to take it, and boom! A large fireball suddenly appears in the room and causes you to shield your eyes. When you open them, you notice that the fire has changed to something far more menacing. The Hellhound makes this hot room even hotter. There must be a way to cool the room off before you roast. Ah, what's a Hellhound? Just give me the horn. Its teeth sink deep into your flesh. And that's the Hellhound death. Now, of course, we have the solution to this already, or I wouldn't be here. There it is. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this vial of holy water on the Hellhound. Back to the place where it was spawned. Bye, Hellhound. The flame died out, the room is quiet as though nothing had happened. And maybe nothing did happen. Maybe it's all in your imagination. Hey look, it's an Azure-Rathalos. As you stand on the turret, an eerie blue dragon appears in the clear, starry sky. It's a wyvern! You just said it was a dragon, you liar. Get your story straight. This beastie is a distant cousin of a dragon, but is smaller and fiercer. Not necessarily... well, yes, I guess wyverns feel they have something to prove. Oh, look at this, we got a 6-pointed item. Rather heavy talisman made of gold and is extremely sharp along its edges. It shines with an incredible brilliance. You mean like the sun? This must be the bladed sun they were talking about. We must need that. Let's grab it! With the speed of lightning, and because Azure-Rathalos never touches the ground, the wyvern wraps its tail around your neck. You die, screaming silently. Alright, the solution here, you know that star that we just picked up in the observatory? Let's go ahead and take that and throw it at the wyvern. The star becomes a flash of light as you launch it, kind of like the goddess bracelet. Crash! It strikes the wyvern and it explodes into a million pieces. Not unlike a flash bomb hitting an Azure-Rathalos. And we now have the talisman. Alright, at this point we pretty much have everything that we need from this area, so let's move forward. Obviously, we see torches, we take torches. From this windy ledge, you can get an idea of the size and strength of the castle. Sure can. Look around. The sky foretells the coming of a great storm. Oh, even though we're outside and moonlight could probably be enough for us right now, we still have to have torches lit. Alright, so the obvious thing, well, it's not even obvious, but you saw lightning striking. We have an object called Rod that we don't really have a use for other than this. Let's put that rod here. Suddenly, the sky seems to be on fire as a bolt of pure lightning strikes the rod. You are startled to see a skeletal hand rise from a hole that has formed at your feet. Oh, thank you, Three-Fingered Hand. And we now have the wand. As if it had never been. Though if it wasn't pure lightning, what in the world would it have been? Diluted lightning? Recycled lightning? Only 10 parts per million lightning? Like, what would it be if it wasn't pure lightning? Lightning lights up the countryside as you stand on a lookout point. Been a while since I've saved, let's do that. This canvas pouch looks to be quite light. Some inspection reveals some druidic script on it. Well, considering that it was the druidic wizard Lockmere that sent us here, obviously that's a good thing. But it's a pot of gold! The leprechaun must have skipped town. Oh, there's nothing saying I can't make a little bank on the way out of here? Oh, shit. You realize that you have fallen for the oldest trick in the book. Suddenly find yourself knee-deep in the moat. It seems that the alligators really enjoy your company. Oldest trick in the book, huh? Oh well. So now what happens if we grab this instead? Bag 3. Well, as per usual, we're going to open up the bag. And we have big coin and 3 actual gold coins. Boy, these will be useful for that troll, huh? Yeah, it's too bad we threw our collector's spear at him. I hope he's enjoying that thing. Like, if he really is a weapon enthusiast like I think he is, he's probably really getting a kick out of that spear. Oh, time to use a torch. You're in a small throne room. A skeleton wearing a gold crown sits on a throne in front of you. Examine some things. In the center of the pillar is a carving of a sword. Although he looks dead enough, this royal Skellington, this Jack Skellington, sends shivers down your spine. There seems to be something in his hand. Yeah, that's a halberd. Sir Dugan's royal seal is carved on the stone pillar in vivid colors. Alright, well, he's got something in one hand, but don't most kings also have another object that they like to hang on to? And there's your clue. This jewel-studded scepter is truly made for a king! So let's give it to him. The skeleton doesn't even really say anything. He's just like, cool, thanks. You can now see a ring-shaped hole. Well, gee, I wonder what the solution here is. Right, use ring on that. Revealing a secret passageway. This hallway is made of large granite slabs. Looks majestic, doesn't it? So obviously you know what we've got to do. We take the torches. On the opposite wall are a pair of stone beasts guarding a dark archway. This stone statue is some 3.5 feet tall and ugly as all heck. It is very cold to the touch. You can just touch it? That's crazy. It's a stone passageway, no kidding. A huge stone slab. You seem to be wasting your time. It's a doorway. Alright, well we didn't try going this way. And that's why. Without thinking, you jump through the opening and immediately hear a loud click. Suddenly, the granite slab above you gives way and crushes you beneath it. It breaks every bone in your body. It's not all bad. I always wondered what it would be like to be a slug. Alright, well, we're going to want to move past the gargoyles. Sulfurous fumes rise from the hot molten lava some 30 feet below you. Swimming would not be wise. Says who? I want to find out. Shouting a battle cry, you catapult yourself off the platform. You are brave, warrior, but stupid! Your body explodes as you plunge into the lava. Okay, maybe it is this one. You know, sometimes you just gotta find out for yourself. Well, hello, Mini Cthulhu. Oh, okay, so as of right now, you can't really do that. But we do have the solution, don't get me wrong. I'm just demonstrating, and that time around I was thinking the game was going to be like, oh, but the statue is blocking your path! You know, like a pencil-shaped iron statue blocked Ness's path? Come on. But the solution here is the Motari spell. Motardi risen. The statue lowers and a large platform rises out of the lava. You now have a way across. Hooray! Let's use this. Stalagmites surround this room like the cavernous jaws of a huge beast. Save just because it's been a bit. Alright, so let's look around. It's a strong-looking metal cylinder. It's a finely crafted wooden handle. There are 3 handles here, side by side. Nice voice crack. Looks like a large, very deep pit. So what happens if we move into that pit? You woke the sleeping guard from his beauty sleep. He decides to eat you for breakfast. Well, that's not a surprise. Remember, I am showcasing all of the bad decisions. But now let's show you the right decision. Remember what I said about this mock-up in the stairs in the Sphinx room? So we throw the levers in this order. Right, center, right. Scream! The cylinder lifts with a shuddering sound. Momentarily dazzled as the darkness is lit by a blinding flash, a silver orb is revealed. Well, I mean, I guess we should take that, seeing as it's one of the things that we need to make the legendary item. Alright, so we have what we need to move past them. What we don't have is the very object that we need to finish making the staff mages. So now we need to backtrack. We also need to light a torch. Come on, torches. Now, to me, the sound of your torches about to go out is just annoying. On the other hand, if they replace that with the sonic drowning music, wouldn't that be much more effective? It's a dead Cyclops. What do you expect after stabbing him with your sword? I think I went too far back. Here we go. Yeah, I just made a wrong turn, but it didn't take much to find my way back here. I think I accidentally scraped my microphone, so sorry about that. So, here is how we get across this rickety bridge. We are playing the NES version, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a dose of Bottle 2. Use Bottle 2 on self. And immediately begin to rise in the air. A giant snake confronts you in this small cave. It's a giant snake. It doesn't move. Perhaps it's getting ready to strike! You wait for the creature to kill you, but it still has yet to move. Upon closer inspection, you laugh at your foolishness. It is only a statue. Yeah, don't you feel silly? Now, we do have the solution to this problem, too. And if you're paying close enough attention to your items as you pick them up, you examine this. It's a wand of sort. Carved on the side of the wand is a small picture of a serpent. Perfect! So let's go ahead and use this wand on this here fake serpent. Is it just your eyes, or is it shrinking? Doop. 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 serpentine statue begins to change. It grows smaller and smaller. It dematerializes and forms anew as a staff of tremendous beauty. I can only imagine what this would look like in an actual, like, 3D, detailed game. Suddenly you feel heavier than you did only a moment ago. So yes, if you do this right, you only need one bottle tube. The game gives you 3 of them just in case you make a mistake. Now in the old Macintosh version, I believe what you have to do is actually drop all of your equipment here before you can cross the bridge. It's a little bit of a dick move, but there you go. Now let's make our way all the way back to the gargoyles. Oh, hey there, Mr. Troll. How you doing? You must not have liked my gift of the spear. It was an accident, I swear. No big deal, right? Just a joke among friends. I can afford a gold coin this time. The troll says the toll has just been raised to 2 gold coins. The troll says, I've changed my mind. I won't let you cross my bridge after all. I mean, to be fair, we did throw a spear at him. Alright, so let's go ahead and use another torch. Alright. Move. Oh, hi, Mr. Troll. How you doing? You've got my spear. I don't think using a torch on him would actually work, even though, canonically, that's what should work. But, we have a couple of spells that we haven't used yet, so let's try one of them. How about Humana? You lose sight of you're as invisible as the wind. Alright, we're almost back to where we were before we backtracked. Alright, we are almost ready to confront the final enemy. Let's get in there and... oh hey, those things are moving. The beasts begin to shudder and their eyes begin to glow red. The gargoyles, angered at your presence, spring from their frozen state and rip you to pieces. There's not even enough left for you to even feed to the birds. Alright, so what gets you past a gargoyle? Well, remember the description of the Illumina spell. So let's try that. Basically, it's the flash spell. Suddenly, the cavern is so bright that you have to shade your eyes. It takes you a few moments to regain your senses from the Nova Burst. It seems the gargoyles were also affected and haven't yet recovered from the spell. I mean, what do you expect? The room seems to be made solely for the purpose of housing the well. Covered with dust and dirt. Alright, so can we open this door? Door is locked. I'm just gonna tell you right now, we don't have a key for that door. So what do we do? Well, let's use the crank here. Cover of the well is open. Alright, so what happens when we try to go there? You can't do that! With a mighty leap, you jump headfirst into the well. On the way down, you see the water below. The well was deeper than... oh, I didn't even finish reading the whole thing. That's just how impatient I am. Now, the smart thing to do would be to do that again, because I never finished reading that. The well was deeper than you imagined. You have just broken every bone in your body. Oh, okay, so we became a slug again. Alright, so what exactly do we do? Well, let's once again show you the answer. We're going to start by examining the big coin. It is a large gold coin with a well engraved on it. Well, if they're not talking about this well, I don't know what they could be talking about. So let's use that on the well. Ugh. Sorry, my eyes are watering. Give me just a minute. Ugh. Influenza. Not fun. No wonder I've had no energy for the past few days. Reminds you of the small dust devils you see in the autumn months. Swirling winds carry you down the deep well and set you gently into the cavern below. You stand above a beach, looking down upon a river. Oh, so much for that no water down there bit. You expect me to believe anything you say after that? Alright, so now what do we do? The river's water is dead calm. It wouldn't surprise you if this were the river Styx. Alright, so let's use the mallet on the gong. After the gong sounds, a specter materializes right before your eyes. The ghostly ferryman doesn't look friendly. You hear a faint voice ask for a fare. Alright, well, this is what we actually use the gold coins for. Though I'm curious, what happens if we do give him a cop coin? I've never tried it as a kid. He will not take the copper coin as a fare. Suddenly, he disappears. Got it. Alright, so he doesn't kill you, he's just like, no. Don't be stupid. Alright, we've got a few gold coins, and this is actually why the game gives you multiple gold coins, in case you need to. And the solution here is to hit move and click on the raft. Screaming silently. For some reason, you get the feeling you are standing on sacred ground. Alright, so, we're ready for the confrontation, let's go. It won't open! Well, what happens if we just hit it? Nothing happened. Figures. So, if you actually want to get through here, you were hopefully paying attention to the prophecy before. You have to know where to hang the talisman before you invoke the Platinum Horn. So I'm going to show you what happens when you put the talisman in the wrong place first. Yes, skeletal door eye lasers. You've placed the bladed sung in the wrong hole. You did not heed the warnings, and now the Warlock Lord's defenses end your life. Alright, now we do it the right way. Use talisman where the sword is hung. Now we can't just go through the door. That would. Wait, what? Ouch! You bumped it with your head. Yeah, that's funny. Not a lot of people I know can just headbutt a door and get it to open. but hey, if anyone could. Alright, let's go ahead and use that platinum horn now. You hear the sound of grinding rock. The skull of the jaw begins to descend. Jaw of the skull, what? Hot wind erupts from the mouth, creating the illusion that the stone skull is alive. Hey, look! It's Bitchface! The cavern that you have entered is by far the largest your eyes have ever gazed upon. Hey, let's be fair, you do have a large, scary beast with jaws that could probably smash a building. But it's pink. How do you take that seriously? From the depths rises the most powerful creature that has ever existed, the Behemoth. Your stomach knots up as you stare at this new horror. The beast is indeed incredible. You wonder for a moment how you can defeat such a creature as this. Well, there is a way, and by everything that you've seen go on in the game, you pretty much know what that way is. But first, let's show you some of the things not to do. Like, you can just leave. And it does this again when you go back in. So you can go back if you've missed something. The game will just be like, alright, mulligan, let's just do this again. Now, if you try to do something stupid, like, I don't know, say you just got frustrated and you just want to punch the Warlock Lord. Yeah, a good Eldritch Blast will pretty much take care of you. The Warlock Lord feels your presence and knows that you are the seed that must be destroyed. Flame shoots forth from his staff and engulfs your body. You have failed! Almost there. Okay, we've seen this a few times. Alright, so what exactly do we do here? Well, the solution, if you had followed the riddles that had been leading up to this part, remember the 3 are 1 part, so you start by sliding the blade onto the staff. Lightning begins to flash in the room. Then the golden spike slides smoothly onto the staff and locks into place. Why the Warlock Lord is willing to let you put together the staff that will be his downfall, I'll never know. It's like, why do they wait for each other's transformations in Dragon Ball? No idea. So now after you use the blade on the staff, use the orb on the staff. Light cascades through the room as the staff becomes a living entity. So at this point, obviously you use the staff on the Behemoth. You pray as you raise the Staff of Ages, that it has the power the prophets claim. The staff pulsates with power, and a beam of light explodes from it, striking the Behemoth! Kaboom! Like, hey, that fucking hurt! Doing my best Pac-Man impression before I go away. The creature screams in agony, thrashing back and forth in great pain. In his rage, he grabs the Warlock Lord and descends into the depths forever. You can hear the Warlock Lord's screams fade into silence. Suddenly, it is very quiet. That's what silence means. A beautiful light seems to fill the cavern. Morning sun, you say to yourself. It is over. Although exhausted, you lean on the Staff of Ages and begin your long journey home. Word of your historic quest has already reached the farthest parts of the land. You are triumphantly greeted as you enter the gates of the royal city of Stormhaven. Moments later, you are ushered into the royal palace where you are greeted by the king! Oh, I have to do another voice. I know what thou hast done, brave one. The world would be dark forever without thee. Come on, I know there's more. You are bestowed a kingdom to rule in the king's fair daughter's hand! As you leave the throne room, you know that although this quest is over, others await. After all, the bards will need new legends to sing of, and new tales to tell. The first stories end. So there you go. That was one of the very first adventure games I had ever played. And even though I am not a big fan of point-and-click adventures normally, I do have to say that this one, maybe it's because of the fantasy setting, or maybe it's because of the interesting abstraction of puzzles, but I find myself really enjoying Shadowgate, and I find myself coming back to this game every now and again, just because. And you know, having such easy access to it now is really nice. Alongside two of the other NES ports of the Mac Venture series, I think I'll get a lot of use out of this. For what it's worth, I am playing this on the 8-Bit Adventure Anthology series, Volume 1. It is available on Steam for about $8 American. And yeah, if you want to experience a nice, creepy movie adventure game, or a creepy noir adventure game, or a scary adventure game set in a ghostly mansion, all three of those games are on here, as I showed you in the very beginning. And yeah, again, comes highly recommended by both me and my nostalgia. But that is it for me and my long play of Shadowgate. I hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully you got quite a bit of a kick out of this one. It's a little different from what I normally do, and I figured at least while I'm still recovering, it'd probably be best to do something that's a little bit less involved than what I normally play. So I apologize if this was a little disappointing, but we'll be getting back to normal once I fully recover. Until then, everyone stay safe, keep your wits about you. I hope you have a wonderful day. And hey, share this with your friends. Maybe someone is interested in the new experience. And I will catch you guys on the next one. My name is Darksage Walker, and I will see you.